What's up, guys? I'm espben 360 calling my Week 5 predictions. And before we get started, I just wanted to give a shout out to my friend Dean. He wanted me to get him in this video, so I'm getting him that shout out in this video. And without further ado, let's get started. The Buffalo Bills against the Philadelphia Eagles is the first game. I think the Philadelphia Eagles and Buffalo Bills, two teams with big meltdowns last week, but two teams that have been also going in opposite directions. I think the Buffalo Bills will come in here and they will take care of business. That rushing game is gonna take care of business. Fred Jackson, red hot. He's gonna be taking a lot of carries, and he's gonna be facing against a struggling rushing defense. So that's gonna be a good news for Fred Jackson, and that'll get them set up for those big plays to Stevie Johnson, and the Buffalo Bills win because of that. Next game, we have the Carolina Panthers against the New Orleans Saints. I have the New Orleans Saints winning it in a close, contested game by the Carolina Panthers. In order for the Carolina Panthers to have a chance in this game, they have to improve that red zone offense. If they can't, they will not win, because then they have to settle for field goals. And if you're playing against the Saints offense, you have to score touchdowns, not field goals, because you know they're gonna put points on the board. And now with Darren Sproles in the mix, and that 1-2 punch they got with Mark Ingram, that offense is very very dangerous. And now you got Marquez Colston coming back, very dangerous. Houston Texans against the Oakland Raiders. I have the Houston Texans winning it. I think that Wade Phillips, that 3-4 defense, will be able to stop or at least slow down Darren McFadden and have to force Jason Campbell to win it for the Oakland Raiders, and he has not showed it so far. And you know that Houston offense, that they're gonna be putting up points on the board in a hurry whenever they want points. So so that Oakland Raiders will have to go point for point and have to battle for that win, and that 3-4 defense will stop them. The Houston Texans offense is gonna score a lot of points, and they will win this easily at home in Reliance Stadium. Next game, we have the Cincinnati Bengals against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Blaine Gabbert last week showed that he struggles against tough defenses. He might have a better game this week, a better performance now that he's already got his foot wet, but he has to take on another tough defense in the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are top 5 so far this season and are moving forward, scoring a lot of points with what they're bringing for the offense. Andy Dalton, they're bringing him a little bit of TCU with spreading the offense. It has already worked so far this season. It'll also work. It already worked last week also, and that's what was the reason they won. And it'll work this week against the struggling Jacksonville Jaguars secondary. And the Bengals will come away with an easy win, and that defense will set them up for success. Next game, we have the Indianapolis Colts against the Kansas City Chiefs. I have the Indianapolis Colts winning it. I think the Kansas City Chiefs that secondary will not be able to hold up against so many scoring threats, including Reggie Wayne, Austin Collie, and Dallas Clark, and Pierre Garçon. And Curtis Painter showed that he can manage an offense as powerful as the Colts offense. And with that 1-2 punch they got with Delon Carter and Joseph Oddai, they should win against Kansas City. And next game, we have the Minnesota Vikings against the Arizona Cardinals. Two teams that have two powerful running backs. Two teams that have not started off good so far. And Arizona Cardinals 2-2. The Minnesota Vikings 0-4. Minnesota Vikings need to be giving it more to Adrian Peterson. He has not getting the ball as much as he wanted. They need to give Adrian Peterson those touches he needs. And also for the Cardinals, if I'm the Cardinals coming this game, I'm going to be trying to use Beanie Wells a lot in this game. Try to hand more balls to him and spread that offense and spread that secondary and loosen up that secondary for Larry Fitzgerald to take advantage and burn the Minnesota Vikings secondary. And that should be enough for the Arizona Cardinals to beat the Minnesota Vikings. Next game, we have the Seattle Seahawks against the New York Giants. The New York Giants coming this game at home. They're playing at home, so this is gonna be good news for the New York Giants because the Seattle Seahawks do not travel well and do not play good on the road. The New York Giants, that 1-2 punch they got Brandon Jacobs and Ahmad Bradshaw, that'll loosen up that secondary and that defense of the Seattle Seahawks, and the New York Giants should take care of business and win this by 2 touchdowns. They should come and at home and beat the Seattle Seahawks. They have that 1-2 punch and that rushing attack, and that should loosen up everything for Eli Manning and the crew to get the ball to Hakeem Nicks, and that should be enough for the New York Giants to beat the Seattle Seahawks. Next game, we have the Tennessee Titans against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers are angry from the way they played last week, only scoring 10 points against the Houston Texans defense. And now they have to take on the Tennessee Titans defense, tough defense again. And also, they have to get Rashard Mendenhall a little bit going more. They need to get they need to get that running game going, so that'll set up the passing game. And also, what Tennessee Titans have to be looking out for is Mike Wallace, the speedy Mike Wallace. He's gonna be speeding past toward them if they do not watch out for him. And also, the Tennessee Titans, if they don't want this to happen, they also have to create some pressure, and they have to create some pressure on Ben Roethlisberger and slow him down and get pressure on his face. And that with that offensive line that is banged up, they do have the ability to do it, and they will have the ability to get a lot of sacks in this game and a lot of pressure on Big Ben and make him hurry up that pass, and force him to get some of those bad passes and probably pick 1 or 2 of those passes off. But still, the Pittsburgh Steelers should win. They're gonna get that running game going. That'll set up the pass, and this should be enough for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think their defense will finally return back to form against the Tennessee Titans, and will make Matt Hasselbeck, who has been red hot so far, struggle here in this game. And they will also hold Chris Johnson and slow him down also in this game. Pittsburgh Steelers win. Next game, we have the San Francisco 49ers against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tough game to decide. I have the San Francisco 49ers winning it because I think Frank Gore has been having so far a good season, and he'll look to continue that against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers rushing defense. And Frank Gore should have a good game. That should get the passing game going. And the San Francisco 49ers have the passing game with Vernon Davis, Michael Crabtree, and also the underrated slot receiver Kendall Hunter if they choose to use him. Next game, we have the Denver Broncos against the San Diego Chargers. The San Diego Chargers come in this game and have a big advantage over the unorganized Broncos offense against that Broncos unorganized team who doesn't know who's their starting quarterback. A lot of controversy that Team Tebow, when is he gonna start? When is Team Tebow gonna start? And a lot of controversy right now in Denver. And the San Diego Chargers coming off 2 straight victories. They have a lot of momentum. And last week, the Denver Broncos, you know what happened to them? They gave up 6 touchdowns to Aaron Rodgers, 4 passing, 2 running. Excuse me. And the San Diego Chargers, with that momentum they got, they should come away here with an easy win over the Denver Broncos. Next game, we have and also expect a lot of Ryan Matthews. Last week the Packers used a lot of running game, and they had success in that. So this week, Ryan Matthews is gonna be a big factor for the San Diego Chargers. That'll get the passing game going with Antonio Gates and Vincent Jackson. Phillip Rivers is gonna get going, and that offense will get going immediately. Next game, we have the New York Jets against the New England Patriots. I always go for the Jets, but the Patriots last week the secondary showed what they're capable of by stopping the hot Raiders, and that shows that secondary does have the abilities to stop teams like that. And now they're gonna be taking on the New York Jets. Last week they did not have a good game against the Ravens defense. We'll be taking on an easier defense, but the New England offense is just gonna be too much for the New York Jets defense. I think I think Steven really is gonna be a big factor, an X factor for the Patriots if they choose to use him. Steven really, I saw him in preseason this season, and he looked explosive. He has the power and the speed to get a lot of scores and help that offense even become better than what it's now. And I think what Tom Brady's doing, the pace he's on, that's gonna be just too much for the New York Jets defense to handle, and the New England Patriots should come away with a close, tight, contested game by the New York Jets, but the New England Patriots should win it against the Jets. Next game we have the Green Bay Packers against the Atlanta Falcons. I have the Green Bay Packers winning it, a close margin. The Green Bay Packers are coming on in this game, coming off a big victory against the Denver Broncos. Aaron Rodgers is a big performance. He has a lot of momentum carrying on this game, and he's gonna bring that momentum in this game to Georgia Dome, and they're gonna silence the crowd, take the crowd out of the game, and win in Atlanta. The rushing game is gonna be more, and Jermichael Finley and Greg Jennings should get a lot of scores in this game. This should be a shootout because Atlanta does play good at home. Michael Turner and that crew plays a lot good and a lot better at home than on the road. So expect this to be a shootout. I still go Green Bay in this game because of that momentum now they have. And Green Bay will continue that undefeated season. They will go 5-0. Next game, Monday Nighter, the Chicago Bears against the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions coming off a tough come from behind victory against the Dallas Cowboys, being down 24, and now they got too much momentum coming this game. Two come from behind victories will get a team a lot of momentum, and they're gonna be coming on against the Chicago Bears, who have in the past have defeated them a lot, but things have changed. The Detroit Lions are coming here 4-0. The Chicago Bears are 2-2, and the Detroit Lions are making a lot of noise in the NFL right now, and they should come up with an easy victory. That secondary will not be able to take care of Megatron, and that offense will be just too much for the Chicago Bears secondary to handle. And also, we're getting some news that Nick Fairley is expected to play this week, so that's gonna be also one thing for the offensive line, who's already struggling. One more thing to handle, and that's gonna be just too much for them. Jay Cutler is probably gonna have a lot of probably gonna be forced a lot of bad passes in this game. So, and that with the defense they have, Bobby Carpenter I'm expecting him to have another good game in that defense after turning it around for the Detroit Lions last week, and he's starting up that comeback. So that secondary should have a good game against the Chicago Bears, because Jay Cutler will be trying to get rid of that ball fast with the pressure coming up front of him, and that will cause some bad passes. So the Chicago Bears should win this. The Detroit Lions should win this game easily by probably 2 touchdowns. Check out check out my other videos that are coming up, and also rate and subscribe, and that's it. See y'all later, and also peace out.